Hey everyone, it's CL, and this is my latest update for the romance novel that I am reading and providing commentary for, which is Cat's Lair. So if you are not familiar with what I'm talking about, I am reading a romance novel and I am providing my play-by-play commentary as I read the novel. So I have already reached chapter 8, so if you haven't watched my previous videos, they will be linked down below. I also have them in a list, so feel free to watch those to get caught up. And other than that, I'm gonna jump right in and continue the book. So how do I feel right now going into chapter 8? I had a long work day, and to be quite honest, I am not in the mood to put up with Eli's BS. I am a little bit comforted though that, you know, on my last video, people who left comments kind of had the same opinions that I did, were on the same page with the feedback that I provided. So yeah, so thank you for those who have commented. Thank you for those who are keeping me company during this project, this journey through this terrible romance novel. And don't worry, if you love romance, I promise you I am not lumping all romance books into the same category as this one. This one is pretty awful, but I'm pretty sure that somewhere out there is a romance novel that I would really like, so it's just a matter of finding it. So yep, let's go ahead and get into chapter 8, and I'll keep you updated on my thoughts. Now, I noticed that when I'm reading, I get a little caught up in like small little details. Not necessarily that I obsess over it, but if something doesn't quite sound right, it will nag at me because I want to know the answer to the question that I'm having. So in the book, there is a bad guy that Katerina is running from. I guess his backstory is that the police are after him because he's a human trafficker. So that's how Katerina got involved with like the police, and the police are looking for her. Now in the book, it keeps on referencing that she is running from the DEA, but I thought the DEA was only in charge of like drug enforcement. So is that right? Is it right that the author is putting in that the DEA is looking for her? Because it just doesn't seem right. Like, what officer is in charge of human trafficking? I don't know, but I want to say it's not the DEA, and it didn't say that, you know, that they're human trafficking and they're also trafficking drugs. No, it was very specific that it's like human trafficking, like prostitution. Well, they didn't say prostitution, but it seems like they alluded to something like that. So it's bothering me. So if anybody knows the answer, who's like familiar with like law enforcement, let me know in the comments, because it's gonna be nagging at me. I can't figure it out. Okay, so I reached page 125, and in the book, Eli likes to call one of the pet names for Katerina is Baby, and it comes up pretty frequently. And then I was reading, and then I just had like this thought in my head that when did the term baby become like a term of endearment? Like, at what point did it become so common to refer to your romantic partner as baby? Like, the more I think about it, like, I don't like being called that, but the more I think about it, I know it's like normal. It's a normal, common word that people use in like romantic relationships. But the more I think about it, the more like creeped out I get. Like, if you think about it, it's creepy, and I don't know where it started to become normal to say. So as I'm reading the book, I can't help but wonder if the author is projecting a piece of herself a little bit, and that I could be totally off base, but I'm just, you know, wondering, because I do see a lot of reoccurring things that keep coming up, and I kind of wonder like, oh, is that because the author is like really into that? So one of the things the author must be addicted to is coffee, because that comes up more than it needs to. One of the author's favorite desserts must be beignets, because that keeps coming up. Like, how many times do you have to bring that up? And also I kind of wonder if one of the author's favorite ways to role play in the bedroom is by being like the meek female that needs to be taught a lesson, because that seems to be like the reoccurring sexual preference of the people in the story, and they really don't switch it up. So I kind of wonder if the author is projecting, but of course, you know, that's just wondering. It doesn't mean that that's the case, and I could be totally off. I don't know the author. I don't know anything about the author, but you know what? I thought about, like, after finishing the story, to Google the author and kind of compare my perceptions of what I would imagine this person to be like, and then after I read the story, read the profile, and then find out that I'm way off. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and make some tacos, and I will be back to reading after I'm done doing that. All right, I'm back, and I have successfully made my tacos, and I gave up cheese because I'm lactose intolerant, and I've been using that Daya vegan cheese. Like, it looks like cheese, it's not really cheese, and it tastes pretty good. So one of the things that annoys me with the pages that I'm reading right now is that every time the characters have sex, Katerina will always like shame herself, and it's so strange because like Eli will essentially make her choke on his dick, and then afterwards Katerina will be like really remorseful and say things like, oh, I'm so sorry that I'm so hot and force you to have sex with me. I'm such a slut. And then Eli in turn will say, it's okay, baby, you can't help it. It's part of your leopard nature. And leopards in the wild right now must be face palming. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna stop updating for today because I am pretty tired. I had a long work day, and I just want to put everything away and just kind of cuddle under the blankets and then read and drift off to sleep. So I did make it to chapter 10. I'm gonna continue reading more tonight because I do feel like reading, but I'm ready to put everything away because just want to cuddle under the blankets. Yeah, so where do we leave off? The author at this point is now trying to sell the love aspect. It seems a little backwards to me how the approach of this novel, but now they're trying to be like more loving towards each other, and I'm not sure if I'm buying it yet. But that's, the author is trying, you know. I mean, I'm halfway through. Let's see if Eli changes his ways, because he's a pretty abrasive person. So let's see if the author can change my mind as far as their relationship, because so far I don't support it. But you know what? I was randomly already thinking about like other romance novels. Do you remember that movie, A Walk to Remember? It's based off of a book. I don't know what the book title is, if it's the same title as the movie, but I know it's by Nicholas Sparks. So has anybody read that book, like A Walk to Remember, but in book form? Was it any good? Was it cheesy? Did it make you cry? Do you think I would potentially like it? And if you have read that book, let me know down below in the comments what you thought of it, and maybe I will seek it out. I watched the movie, and at the time it seemed a little cheesy, but in the end I must have liked it because I ended up buying it, and I do own it. It's still in like my drawer, my movie drawer. So yeah, I'm already thinking of like what other romance novels I can try. Next time I will do my research a little better and not go for whatever I picked up. I think someone said I picked up like a erotic romance. And then thank you everyone who leaves the comments, because it really does help me. And you know, people commented and pointed out that romance has lots of subgenres, and now that they said that out loud, it does make sense. So thank you everyone for helping me out, and do not worry, I will not give up on romance based on this book, because I know this seemed like I picked up something pretty extreme. But yeah, that is it for today. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't think I did too many updates today, so I'm gonna try to edit this really quick and load it up for you all, and then I'm gonna cuddle under the blankets and continue reading, and hopefully tomorrow I can finish work earlier because today was too long of a day. But thank you all. Hope you all had a wonderful day. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.